All right, my friends, welcome to Saturday, May the 23rd, 2026. Can you believe that we're almost through the fifth month of 2026? Time goes too quickly, my friends. Hey, happy Memorial Day weekend. It's going to be a weekend in the New Jersey area that's filled with rain, and people are going to be saying, oh, what a terrible weekend. It's not hot. It's not the greatest opening beach weekend of the year. This is, of course, Memorial Day, and we're supposed to be at the beach and partying. But let's take a moment and remember what Memorial Day is. Memorial Day is the federal holiday where we mourn and remember the U.S. military personnel who died while serving in the armed forces. They died while securing the freedoms that we enjoy today. So instead of this weekend complaining about the fact that it's not a great beach weekend, no matter where you are, it might be a great beach weekend in other places than New Jersey. But instead of complaining about what the weekend isn't, or even if it is a great weekend, instead of just spending our time enjoying whatever we're doing that's enjoyable, let's remember why Monday is the holiday that it is. It's so that we can pause and remember those who came before us who helped secure our freedoms, especially those, or in particular those, who passed away while serving in the United States Armed Forces. It is altogether fitting and proper that we take the time to appreciate, when we take the time to show gratitude, when we take the time to appreciate, we actually do great work because we are taking the focus away from ourselves. We spend so much time thinking about ourselves in our society, and we're giving that attention and thanks and gratitude to others, even those others, especially sometimes, who will never know and never could know, but who, in the interests of other people, each of us sacrificed for their country. So happy Memorial Day to all of you. And instead of just saying happy Memorial Day, thank you Memorial Day, gratitude Memorial Day. Memorial Day should be a day more than just saying how much fun we can have. It should be a day when we take the time to silently reflect, or even to take the time with others to reflect on what others have sacrificed for us. And as we're doing that, let's try to make every day a great day. And again, you show gratitude as a way to enhance and make our own lives better. You make your days greater by finding the good that surrounds you, bringing it into your heart and appreciating it, and then spreading that gratitude and that happiness forward. When we give love, when we give kindness and empathy and understanding and gratitude, when we are kind, those attributes come back to us in greater amounts than we ever gave. Now, does that mean that people will always be nice? Oh, absolutely not. No, there will be times when people are cruel, mean, uncaring, selfish, rude, and a whole bunch of other words towards us. There will be times when people might even scream at us or be mean to us. But that does not mean that we return those emotions, and that does not mean that the greater good, by being kind and by being generous, that does not mean that the greater good does not overwhelm those individual times when people aren't their best selves in dealing with us. So make today a great day and give kindness and give love. And remember, it'll come back to you by and large in greater amounts than you ever gave. All right, so we're here to talk about the Yankees. Oh, my goodness, the Yankees. Now, here's the good thing. We love the Yankees. We do. And again, we have to keep it all in perspective. We have to keep it all in perspective. We watch baseball, we watch the Yankees because we're hoping it gives us joy. We watch it because we enjoy watching baseball. Hopefully, we more enjoy watching the Yankees win. The Yankees jumped out to, a 7-1 start this year? Now they're 30-21. They're in second place. What does it say here in the American League East? I'll pull up the American League East standings. The Tampa Bay Rays are in first. They are 33-15. The Yankees are 30-21. They are already, it just happened like overnight, it seems, within the week or so, 4.5 games out of first place. And after that 7-1 start, they've gone only 23-20. And you say, that's not very good. And it's not great, 23-20. It's highly mediocre. It's a .534 winning percentage. But if you then look at the other teams in the American League, a .534 winning percentage would still be first place in the West. And it would be in second place in the Central. You know, when you look around the American League, the Tampa Bay Rays, the New York Yankees, the Cleveland Guardians, the Chicago White Sox of all teams, and the Athletics of wherever they're from are all over 500. The rest of the league is under 500. That means the Blue Jays, the Red Sox, the Orioles, the Twins, the Royals, the Tigers, the Rangers, the Mariners, the Astros, believe it or not, and the Angels are all under 500. This is not a stellar league. This is not a league of great teams. And so the Yankees, even after going 7-1 and not doing great since then, are 23-20. And so, as bad as they've been better than most teams in the league. And I've talked about this a lot, and I'm not going to beat this point to death. The Yankees know that the rest of the league isn't that good. We as fans want to enjoy watching the Yankees be great. The Yankees are not great. We can go down the list and the reasons why the Yankees are not great. We've done that. They don't hit. They strike out too much. They're fundamentally flawed. They have a poor bullpen. They have a poor lineup construction. Their manager seems to be always a step behind. There's a million reasons why the Yankees aren't great, but the Yankees are very good. They've always been very good. My gripe with the Yankees is simple. Growing up and into the 2000s, throughout my life, throughout the first 40 years of my life or so, as a Yankee fan, the idea was we are the Yankees. We set the highest standard. We want to be the best, and we're going to do everything we can to be the best. And under the leadership of Hal Steinbrenner and Brian Cashman, they have gone away from that as the model. They no longer seek to be the best. They seek to be, and this of course is all my opinion, but they seek to be better than the rest, slightly better than highly mediocre when looking at the American League. Most of the teams aren't great. The Yankees have played 534 baseball, And that's not bad enough to even be a middle of the pack team. Slightly better than 500 baseball is good enough to be one of the better teams in the league. And what I wish the Yankees would do, because it's clearly obvious, they're either designed to be this way. They have either designed the team to be slightly better than mediocre, pretty good, whatever phrases you want to use, a little better than the rest of the league. They've either designed the team to be that, which they have been now for many years, or they're not good at building great teams. It's one or the other. And I think that they're smart enough, able enough, talented enough, the people running the Yankees, that they aren't trying to be a great team. Because if they were trying to be the greatest team in the league and the greatest team in baseball, they would do a better job of making the team great. I think they're smart enough that they can do that. So the fact that they haven't been that and they aren't that is by design. And so my wish for the Yankees would be that they just say, our goal isn't to be the very best team. We don't need to be the very best team. Even the great Yankee fans who say that I think they're going to win the pennant. I think they could go to the World Series. None of them say this is a great team. No one says that. No one's been saying that as fans, analysts, writers, sportscasters, bloggers, podcasters. Nobody really says that. They say, when you look around the American League, the rest of the league isn't so good. The Yankees should compete against the rest of that league. It's not a great league. The idea being, let's just be slightly better than pretty good. That's not great. So if the Yankees would just say that that's our goal, we're going to give you a very competitive product. We're going to most likely make the postseason. We should have an exciting stretch run into late September. If the Yankees would say that, the fans have no kick coming. It's when they say we are designing our team to be the greatest and they continually fall short, that they give the fans, myself included, opportunities to argue that they're doing a bad job. Because if your goal is to be the best and you haven't been the best since 2009, and every year we see a team that's slightly pretty good, a little better than average, if that's what we see every year in a weak league, that they're pretty good, then you're not doing a great job building greatness. So stop telling us you're trying to build greatness. But speaking of greatness, my dear friends, this program is brought to you by Artemisia Publishing. Artemisia is a fantastic publishing company that is located in the United States of America. And that wonderful publishing company, a traditional publisher, they pay their writers in order to be published by Artemisia. You don't pay a thing. All you have to do is be a great writer, because they only publish great writers who write great books in the traditional way. If you write great books and people buy them, guess what? Then you earn money. And so do they, of course, because they are the publisher. And they have published many great books, including my wonderful motivational book, 365.2, Going the Distance, A Runner's Journey. They published the wonderful The Least Among Them. They published Roy White's fantastic autobiography, written with me, From Compton to the Bronx. And we'll highlight the greatest novel ever written. If you have not read Scattering the Ashes, you need to. Your life is incomplete until you've read that book. Actually, your life's incomplete until you've read all my books, of course. And they published this wonderful book, The Greatest New York Yankees by Uniform Number. So instead of complaining about the Yankees, there's so much to complain about. They keep losing. They lost the last two games against the Blue Jays. This weekend, they're going to be playing Tampa. And are the Rays going to have their way with the Yankees, or are the Yankees going to be able to hold their own against the Rays? We shall find out. It will be exciting. Remember that when the Yankees win, we get excited because each day there's baseball. You're like, hey, maybe they're going to go on a run. And each time they lose, we say, oh, my goodness, nothing could be worse. But what I want to do is spend some time today just reading a chapter from this wonderful book. It just came out in March. Everyone who's read it keeps telling me how great it is. People have bought it. They've given it away as gifts. And then I hear, oh, my goodness, my friend loves this book. It's fantastic. Dear friends out there, if you love a book, if you read a book and you love it, do the author a favor. Go on to Amazon, go on to Goodreads, and give that book 5 stars. That indicates that you loved the book, and then it indicates to others that they may love it. So I just was flipping through the book, and I thought it'd be fun to look at number 36. And so the way the book is set up is I look at every single uniform number and then write who was the greatest Yankee at that uniform number. And 36 is an interesting number because it is, because it's fun. There's a great Yankee pitcher and a great Yankee hitter, one of them in the Hall of Fame, both of whom wore 36. And the question then would be, which one of them was better? When one looks at the many players, 56 players in all who wore 36 for the Yankees, just 2 names stand out. Both of these players were brought to the Yankees in different eras, and both for the purpose of helping the team win a championship. Now, as a Yankee fan, do you know who those 2 players are that I'm referring to in this wonderful book who wore number 36? The first was the guy who was not the pitcher. His name was Johnny Mize, and Johnny Mize is in the Hall of Fame. He was a Yankee from 1949 to 1953. I'm not going to read this word for word because I'm watching the clock. In each of his 5 seasons as a Yankee, the Yankees won the World Series. Wouldn't it be great today if that was their goal every year, to just win the World Series? With no apologies. We want to be the best team, no apologies, and we want to win the World Series every year. Mize had been a National League All-Star 9 times before coming to the Bronx. But as a Yankee, because these were the tail ends of years of his career, he played in over 100 games only once. He hit 25 homers in 1950, but over the other 4 seasons combined, he clubbed only 19 homers. Nevertheless, as a veteran presence and pinch hitter, Mize was an important cog in the Yankee machine that won continually. As a Yankee, Mize batted .264 with 44 homers and 179 runs batted in. But his lifetime WAR with the Yankees was just 3.8. Still, he was an important player. And he was an important player on a team that won the World Series 5 consecutive years. Johnny Mize was one of many players the Yankees brought in that era. Future Hall of Famers, many-time All-Stars, who they would bring in to supplant the other stars on their rosters. Johnny Mize, Enos Slaughter, Ewell Blackwell, Johnny Sane. This is what the Yankees did back then. And it's also what the Yankees did in their championship era in the late 90s. Tim Raines, Darryl Strawberry, Doc Gooden, Chili Davis, Cecil Fielder. They brought in Roger Clemens, David Wells, Jose Canseco. I mean, just go down the list. Ivan Rodriguez. They would bring in great players, Randy Johnson. They would bring in great players to help smooth the team around the edges. One thing that they don't do anymore is that. They fill the rest of the roster with maybe good players, but not great players. But anyway, Johnny Mize, a Hall of Famer, wore number 36. Would you think that being a Hall of Famer gets him the nod as the greatest Yankee to ever wear number 36? The greatest Yankee while wearing, actually, number 36. And the answer is no. Just because he's in the Hall of Fame does not mean that he gets to be called the greatest Yankee wearing that number, because he wasn't. Before coming to the Yankees, David Cone starred for the Mets, Royals, and Blue Jays. He was the 1994 American League Cy Young Award winner with the Royals. He came to the Yankees during the 1995 season and went 9-2 down the stretch and pitched the Yankees into the postseason. He was the ace of the Yankees staff the next 4 years. The Yankees reached the playoffs in all of Cone's seasons with them, winning the World Series 4 times. Cone won 20 games in 1998, and in 1999, he pitched his famous perfect game. As a Yankee, he went 64-40 with a 3.91 ERA, and he earned 20.3 WAR. The greatest Yankee in uniform, number 36, was David Cone. One of the other things I did in the book was I made these charts. You can see a chart right there. And on the David Cone page, the chart lists former Cy Young Award winners who later pitched for the Yankees. Gaylord Perry won 2 Cy Young Awards, 1972 and 1978. Catfish Hunter in 1974. Dwight Gooden in 1985. Roger Clemens had $1 million. Jack McDowell, 1993. David Cone, 1994. Randy Johnson won $1 million. Bartolo Colon, 2005. CC Sabathia, 2007. And Corey Kluber, 2014 and 2017. Pretty good stuff. So that's just an example of 2 pages in this wonderful book published by Artemisia Publishing. All right, my friends. It seems as though, as you know, I record these on Friday during the afternoon, during the day. It's actually like 5 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning. Busy weekend ahead of myself, so I found some time early to get this done. Let's hope the Yankees play greatly against the Tampa Bay Rays. A big weekend would change a lot of the narrative. The Yankees did send down Spencer Jones. Jones had 24 at-bats, and he struck out in 12 of them. Andy Singer at Start Spreading the News and myself, we've both said many times that if you can't hit the ball, and Spencer Jones has shown that he strikes out far too often, if you can't make contact in the minor leagues, you're not going to hit in the major leagues. I'd like also, just as we wind this thing down, to send you to Start Spreading the News, the greatest Yankee site there is. Go there. We put up articles every day at 6, 10, and 2, plus the game threads for every single game. I wrote an article that was published on Thursday, 2 days ago, that's called Perspectives, Minor League Batting Average Matters, because I wanted to look at some of these Yankees who aren't hitting. And I just wanted to do it a very simple overview. The premise being, if you are going to hit in the major leagues, you have to have proven that you can hit in the minor leagues. Everybody's saying that Austin Wells should be a big-time hitter, but Austin Wells didn't have a great minor league batting average. So many people believe that Anthony Volpe is going to be a big league hitter, but Anthony Volpe never consistently had a great batting average in the minor leagues. And I make the point that if you can't hit in the minor leagues, odds are you're not going to hit in the major leagues. It's a worthy article to read and think through. And notice the conclusions I made. Here's the concern. Spencer Jones hasn't been a great minor league hitter. The other great Yankee prospect is George Lombard Jr. He hasn't been a great minor league hitter. Austin Wells wasn't a great minor league hitter. Anthony Volpe wasn't a great minor league hitter. Ben Rice was. Ben Rice had some good minor league seasons. So read the article. I'm not doing it enough good service right here. I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to remind you to go to apbooks.net to go see Artemisia Publishing. I want to remind you to visit the Yankees site, start spreading the news, because it is the greatest place to talk and read about the Yankees. We work hard to give you that greatest Yankees site there is. Remember to take time to be grateful, show gratitude, maybe even pray, and thank the Lord that there were those who came before us who sacrificed so that we can have the freedoms we have today. Give love, give kindness. It will come back to you in greater amounts than you ever gave. Have yourselves an enjoyable and a memorable and a grateful Memorial Day. And I will see you again on the next show. Have a great day.